I'm here with State Representative Jeffrey Sanchez, who represents the 15th District in Suffolk County. And Jeffrey, we got some budget hearings going on today, some stuff that directly affects the Latino community in Boston. What are some of the issues that are you most excited about?
Well, aside from the general topics of the money that we spend on Chapter 70, which is money that goes directly into our public school systems, as well as monies that go to our public safety, make sure that there's police officers and firemen and all that. That's what we're taking up today, which is the entire budget. We spend over $23 billion of taxpayer money today here in the House. In a few weeks, the Senate will take it up, and then we'll come right back here again through conference committee. But in terms of the Latino perspective, in terms of some of the things that I'm trying to keep alive, there's a Latino after school initiative that I was able to advocate for a couple of years ago, and that we're trying to keep alive again now this year, as well as increase the amount for that program. Not only that, we're trying to make sure that the Gaston Institute over at UMass Boston, which looks at that does studies on the Latino population in Massachusetts, that their earmark gets put back into the budget because it was taken out in the governor's budget. Not only that, I have some particular specific things in terms of my own district, in terms of public safety concerns, to make sure that there's some extra dollars for my police district to address some of the concerns in the community. And there's a few elderly service programs that I'm trying to see if I can increase their amount so that they can continue to do work for the elderly population within my district, to make sure that they're participating in outreach programs that will help better their health, as well as integrate them more into the community, because there's an elderly population that's pretty isolated from what's going on in the community.
What is the outlook for most of these programs? Do you think most of them will get passed or get the funding they need?
Well, that's our battle right now. There's a couple of things that I'm not too sure what may happen with them. So that's why you'll see all of us, as you saw through your footage, a lot of folks are talking here about what's going to happen and what's not going to happen, and it's all in this debate, and that we hope to get something accomplished. I feel positive about 90% of it, but there's a few initiatives that are new that I tried to get in, especially with the Latino After School initiative, that I'm hoping that we can get an increase in.
What exactly is the Latino After School initiative?
The Latino After School initiative actually runs through an organization called the Child Resource Center, and they provide MCAS remediation help for kids so that they can help pass the MCAS test. And not only that, it keeps the kids engaged in terms of a culturally competent environment so that they can increase their skills so that they can do better in school. In my district alone, within the next 5 years, there's the potential of building over 1,500 units of housing. But every time I ask the question, how many of that is going to be accessible in terms of affordable, so that people can actually buy, I get mixed answers. So this year's budget, I'm requesting for the House to increase the Affordable Housing Trust line item by $5 million to go to building home ownership opportunities for folks. Because what we see here in the State House is that the federal government is walking away from any housing programs, and for every 10 units of housing they take offline in terms of public housing, they only put in one. And so you'll see a few other pieces that are here trying to increase those rental programs. But aside from supporting those, I feel like our community specifically needs to find ways so that they can actually own a piece of this American dream, which is property. And here in Boston, we've seen so many Latinos that have done well because they bought property back in the 70s, back in the 80s, early 90s, and I feel like there's a whole other population that's looking now. How can we buy our properties? How do we get off the earned income tax credit and get a higher rate back at the end of the year through deducting the mortgage interest income? That's where I feel that we should spend some time on in building the Latino middle class here in the city of Boston and in the state.